Hey everybody, and welcome back to the Crypto Night Show. Your host Superman in the house. Another day. We're going to talk about Bitcoin, and of course, when's it going to go up? That's another question. It's going up slightly overnight, at over 64k, and then we're also going to check out a lot of stuff happening with some of the drivers around Bitcoin, the asset treasuries, the ETFs. We're going to zoom in on the future outlook for the price, and then we're going to get into Ethereum, looking at some of the key themes around tokenization. And how Ethereum is dominating. So we'll talk about that coming up. And also, we're going to check out Tom Lee and Bitmine and give an update there from him on a video and why he's buying, why he's still buying. Of course, we know why he is, but we're going to check his latest thoughts on that. And then we're going to get into Pulse Chain and check out all the markets on Pulse Chain. LibertySwap put a little video out today, episode 3. It looks like they're building up to some big announcement. I don't know whether it's something that we've particularly heard, so it could be teasing something brand new, or maybe something around decentralized dollar, which it seems like the theme is there. So that's coming up as well. So I hope you guys enjoyed the content. If you're new to the channels, don't forget to subscribe on YouTube. We're streaming on 3 YouTube channels, The Crypto Night Show, Superman Crypto, and Pulse Chain X, as well as live on X as well. So if you're on X, don't forget to smash the follow and hit the repost button on the live show. And I hope you guys enjoy the content. The largest daily show for Pulse Chain Influencer, covering Ethereum, Bitcoin, and of course crypto generally, as well as a deep dive on Pulse Chain top 100 markets every single day, unless something else comes up, like a trip to Hawaii or something like that. You know how it rolls. No, I'm just kidding. All right, so let's get into it. We're gonna have a lot of fun and get into the comments. You guys know that's how we rock and roll. We're all sharing the same journey together. So get in the chat there. As well. We've had some good comments, good shows with some of the good questions in the chat, which is really, really great. All right, without further ado, let's kick it off the stock market. We're going to kick into Friday's results, so the end of the week, and see how things shaped up. Let's go and have a look there. All right, we've got the markets looking green for the day. So Friday's results, Dow Jones up 30%. 150 points to 56,637. And if we have a look at our little chart here for the last month, we're just below all-time highs, only about maybe 400 points below. So that's not bad, right? Not bad. S&P 500 is up 0.4%, 32 points to 7,575. We're just at all-time highs we previously had on the 15th, so we're back up there at the moment on S&P 500. The Nasdaq up 1/3% almost. 75 points to 26,281, and we're just off the all-time highs there from the 15th as well. How many points? Maybe less than 400, about 350 or so. 350 or so. US dollar is still over 100, so still showing that strength recently. Climbing from 96 to 97 up to 100. Strengthening there. It seems to be a little bit of a strategy. It seems from the White House as well, supporting that move higher. Let's have a look at the commodities. Let's go look at the commodities. The VIX is down. Look at that, 5%, guys, 15%. It's now at 15 points, sorry. And if we look at the last year, got the Iran conflict here, and we're back right on, risk on. So it's pretty exciting, and we're in a pretty good environment. And I did suggest that coming to mid-July could be quite good. So we'll see at the earliest, right? At the earliest. Certainly August looking promising, and there's thesis for every month, right, moving forward to October. But it's kind of cool. Let's go to October. Commodities, I should say. We got West Texas is down 1%, 67 cents to $71.40. I'd like to see that go below $170, of course. But you can see on the little mini year chart here, we're back just above where we were a year ago. All that Iranian the risk premium for the Strait of Hormuz is virtually wiped out. I wouldn't say 100%, of course, but I would say maybe 85%, something like that, is wiped out. We could get oil prices down lower. Maybe they'll drop even down to $55 to $60, and possibly even lower. I mean, America's really expanding their oil supply, so we'll see there. I think the Texas basin itself, Nevada, there's a couple of the basins in the United States which have got probability studies that are just ginormous. I mean, they're just absolutely massive. So how much oil is sitting under America there? And of course, they've got Alaska too, which has just massive fields up in Alaska and many other areas that they're hunting down. So Brent oil at the moment is down 0.4% as well, 30 cents to $76. That's also a pretty similar story. That can certainly come down further. Let's say down another $15. So there's still that premium, a bit more on the Brent oil perhaps. Gold is sitting, just on the support level. 4,000, maybe 3,960 to 4,100. So it's kind of in that zone. You can see it's got horizontal support way back in October last year at 4,000. So we'll see, but it's got to hold on to that 4K mark. It is down 0.2%, $27 today at 41.13. Silver, likewise, hadn't rolled over. Pretty much at a very crucial level as well, $60. Next level is down to 53 or something. So doesn't really want to break down too much. Now, silver and gold obviously have a lot of use in modern electronics, let alone like gold for jewelry markets and things. But copper should be the star, like the consistent star ramping up, because copper is up a third of a percent there, 2 cents to $6.26. But we're expecting good things for the old copper. You can see the trend still your friend, right? Hasn't rolled over. Trend is still your friend, and of course, copper is used in all the modern electronics, including the data centers, all sorts of stuff for the intelligence age. So copper is a clear winner in my view. All right. That's pretty much it on the markets. Let's quickly go to the calendar for next week, the economic calendar. We didn't do that yesterday, so I said we'd do it today. Let's have a look at next week's calendar. So we're expecting the CPI, so one of the traditional inflation measures for the Fed, to come in. So that's very important. So we'll be looking out for that. 4.2 come down from there. And there's no forecast yet, but we'll be looking for the actual to come in, and that is on Wednesday next week. So pretty pivotal. That's all part of the Fed story, the monetary supply, and of course, also risk on, and so that all affects crypto, right? So that's all key there. Will the Fed at the moment kind of pricing in one rate rise? I think there was 9 presidents in the Fed meeting. So yeah, we've got all that stuff playing out. I'm far more dovish. In other words, expecting at least a no change in rates, and a rejig of all the data they use, the actual data, maybe even using to either a trimmed inflation rate, like the Chicago trimmed inflation rate, or to Trueflation, which is real-time data. And I think they should move to real-time data, and that's much lower, right? I think, what would we say, 1.6% or something. So the trimmed data is about 2.4%. So, that's a good way of getting down to your 2% mark, right? So we got PPI here also. So we got the wholesale prices or gate prices there as well that come out for the month, at least the monthly ones. And then we've got a bit of retail sales, manufacturing index. Obviously, that's another key sort of correlator to crypto run, and then initial jobless claims. So more stuff coming there. So next week, got a bit of a mixed bag, but certainly inflation there looking like key numbers. All right, and that brings us into the Fed. So when is the next Fed meeting? The next Fed meeting coming up is, drum roll, I don't have the drum roll on, but is 2 weeks and 4 days. So that CPI number going to be pretty key in there, and the employment numbers have been still pretty sturdy, right? So at the moment, 2/3 of the market expecting essentially a no change, and a third of the market expecting a slight change to the upside. I just don't see that happening. So I'm still expecting a no change there. All right, let's jump away to the crypto majors and have a look at how that's going. Before we do that, we've got Orez in the house. Hey, Orez, great to see you. Welcome to the live show. Hope you're enjoying it. We just did the stock market, commodities, economic calendar, and the Fed all in a few minutes. How many? Less than 10 minutes. It wasn't too bad. All right, so let's jump over to CoinGecko and look at the crypto majors. Total market cap up 1. going on, isn't it? 4% for the week, just under 1,800 bucks, 1,790. Centralized exchange, etc. Tether. Sorry, just go to BNB. BNB is down 0.3%, but it's still up 0.3% for the week at $573. Still haven't really reclaimed that $600 mark yet. XRP. So XRP is on a race with a few other companies to become, like Ripple's one of them, of course. So USDC, Circle, and XRP are on a bit of a race along with another one. I've forgotten the name of it right now. To jump into banking, right? So that could be a big catalyst for them coming up. Obviously, that's XRP, Ripple in particular, has been doing interbank transfers, right, super fast and all that, and getting a lot of partnerships in that regard. So we've got XRP is down 0.1% today, 2.6% down for the week at $1.10. Solana down 1.9%, 5.3% for the week at $77.57 at number 7. Tron number 8 is down 0.5%, but 1.9% up on the day, on the last week, sorry, at just below 33 cents. And finally, we've still got white Bitcoin here, number 10, sitting down 0.3%, 0.9%. And then we've got Hyperliquid and Dodge sitting at number 11 and 12. Hyperliquid just down slightly, and Dodge just slightly for the day. So let's have a look at the top 100. We're going to go have a look at who's the best performer. We've got Adira Beat up 16%, Mincore up 9.7%, Lighter, which is this Hyperliquid competitor that's coming up through the ranks. It is up 9.6%. Pepe is making a bit of a move. So Mincoin's not really in season, but we're getting a little bit of a move here on Pepe. That's pretty interesting. I think one of the other meme coins too was moving up. And then we got Polkadot up 4.9%. So there's a top 5 in the top 100 over the last 24 hours. Over the last week, the top performers are Dexy, Lighter, the Hyperliquid competitor rising through the ranks, has come into the top 100 this week. Kind of neat. Arbitrum is up 13.7%, Just is up 12.1%, and then Uniswap is up 9.9%. Of course, Uniswap's kind of been in a even though it's making one of the most profitable businesses in crypto, it has been underperforming for a long time. So we'll see what happens this cycle, whether it can do a nicer runner there. But certainly a cash cow and revenue fees for sure. All right, so let's go to the top 1,000 gainers. We've got Cash Cats, that's still here. It was up here yesterday, wasn't it? Manifesting is up 55%, and Bulldon here as well. Is this another Bulldon? Looks like almost Ondo one, doesn't it? It's up 42%. Trending overall is Xano, interesting enough, kind of weird, up 9.7%. Cash Cat up 66%, and Lab there down 28% again. I mean, has it got smashed again? Let's have a look. It got smashed. And we're not talking about burger smashes or what's a smash burger. That's what I'm trying to think of. But it is down again. Look at that, 4.4%, 26%, 85, 95% in the last 14 days. I don't know why my chart's not rendering. I don't know why that is. It's pretty crazy. All right, so that is the market overview. Let's jump into the Bitcoin. After all, we got the title video is when will Bitcoin go up? I think that was the title I put in there, because we're going to have a little zoom in on Bitcoin in a bit more detail. So at the moment, let's actually hide this stochastic RSI, and let's bring up the 50 simple moving average. This is the daily chart for Bitcoin. This is zooming in on Coinbase numbers. We're currently at 63,960, so pretty close to that market average that we looked at just earlier. We've got the 50-day moving average in yellow is currently at 65,133. So we're only what's that, $1,100 below that right now. That's not too bad. Hopefully we can pop over that over the weekend perhaps. We got the 200 moving average at just under $74,000. So that's another $9,000 higher than the 50. So obviously a bit of work there. Now remember, we had our third big wave down when we had that big, what I call the Bitcoin Black Week there, or Black Bitcoin Week, and that started off at 7,300, let's say, which is higher than the. It's about the same actually as the 200 moving average right now. So bit of work to get back up there. All right, so let's go to the weekly and zoom in on that. So the weekly here at the moment. And we'll have a look at that calendar. So that's a weekly you can kind of consider as one of the the 200-week moving average is a 4-year indicator. So that 4-year cycle kind of thesis. It's a rolling number, of course, but we can see that the 200 moving average, which is this 4-year cycle kind of chart, is sitting at $62,870. So $62,870, and we're just above that now at 64,000. So we've got about $1,350 clear or so from that moving average. Kind of cool. We haven't often spend that too long below the 200 moving average, which is a pretty positive sign. As you can see previously, we're not below that moving average too much. So that's been pretty consistent. This is all the way back to October 2018. So that's 3 cycles in there, or at least 3 big highs. So we do know that coming up, I think is it this week coming up, that we've got about 23 weeks between repeating cycle going on the last 2 cycles. So is it going to repeat this cycle? We're up to that right now, as I understand it. So we'll be watching over the next few weeks where this goes. We've had 3 big waves down, 1, 2, and 3. We obviously had this recent one as well, was pretty brutal. But basically 3 big waves down. Maybe even this little one's a little 4th mini, but we get these little mini moves down as well. So 3 major moves down, and we've kind of bounced at this low price. So how far down are we? Well, let's have a look. We've been down as far as 55%. We're currently down 50%, just under 50%. If we repeated 2021's level, that was 77% down. That would take us all the way down to the sort of 28,500 mark. I just don't see that happening at all, given that over the last 2.5 years, with the introduction of ETFs and things, that we've got this big mega theme of individual crypto flowing to institutions, albeit that every cycle we get the big whales coming in, which are picking up a lot of the Bitcoin, and we've seen that recently. Over 270,000 Bitcoin accumulated, and picking up the market. So we'll keep a lookout for that while the ETFs were outflows. So yeah, that's kind of where we are right now. We've got the 50 weekly moving average up here, up at 88,600. So that's all the way up here. So decent chance that we've got, I think, the end of the move. But of course, the 4th year cycle typically expected to end in October, which is just before the midterms in November. And so the bears' argument would be, no, we've still got at least one more wave to go down. But funnily enough, those same bears in the October cycle expect us also to have to actually big front run in September. So there's kind of got all these counter arguments there. But if we get the Clarity Acts and stuff through by August, that could be seen pretty bullish, and we get a little pre midterms run as well in November. So I don't know, it's going to a few competing arguments there to why we might be able to just hold this line, at least hold 58K moving forward, as opposed to going down to some of these numbers like 47 to 50,000. A lot of people have got that number in a bear case. But if we were to follow a similar retrace like we had in 21 back here, that'd be down to 28.5, which I just don't see happening. That would really be problematic as well. All right, probably pretty short-lived, but it certainly put a lot of pressure on the digital asset treasuries, which are leverage plays, right? All right, so that's kind of the 4-week cycle. Let's go to the monthly quickly and have a look at that. And we're going to hide the 50. So we'll hide the 200. Is it already hidden? Oh no, it's already hidden there. But let's bring back the stochastic RSI. Let's see. How can I do that? Now let me hide the. Let's see if that works. Runtime here. Okay, max charts. Well, I've already got. Let me bin that. And let me add it back in. All right. So RSI. And we're going to add the stochastic back in. So kind of had on the monthly here has been very good for finding the bottom. So you can kind of see in this zone, this is the second Bitcoin top that we had. And you can see the stochastic RSI was all the way down here. And then of course we bottomed out the bottom there. So to see the bottom of that cycle after 21 there, leading into our run up to 120.27. And then we had the RSI bottoming out the bottom here. The question is, we've already come off this top here, and we're coming down are we going to get that same sort of thing happening here, where we get the run up now to the upside? So you kind of see that the charts are looking good for the upside here for the old Bitcoin coming up within the next few months, holding on to that 4-year cycle. So we'll keep looking out for that. And if we go back to the weekly quickly, the 4-year weekly channel, you can also see that we're pretty much down this bottom zone. So maybe if we do bottom out over, July, August, September, even if we drift in this sort of sideways zone necessarily, we just sort of seek there, and then we start to run up, just like we ran up last year and all these other previous cycles. So looking pretty good. And I think the gaps between these are about 23 weeks, and they seem to be almost spot on. So, we could see a nice uplift from now on with, maybe volatile range and then to the upside coming up. So I think that sort of July, August, September, October, definitely the bottom rounding, and maybe even have a little bit of an uplift. So we're certainly looking good here on the stochastic RSI. All right. I think we'll leave it at that. Let's jump into some of the drivers then of a more bullish outlook, and that is digital asset treasuries. Now, they are struggling. Obviously, they're a leverage play. So when Bitcoin's down, they're going to be down. When Bitcoin's up, they're going to be up, right? Now, if they're able to accumulate, then they sort of offset that with volume. But at the moment, over the last sort of, 7 to 8 weeks, maybe almost 2 months, strategy has not been able to do that, right? Strive hasn't been in such a bad position, but certainly strategy has been under pressure there. They've had to make quite a few strategic changes. They paid off. They played a short-term risky game, but it's also benefited them as well. But certainly put a lot of pressure on them, and that is they paid off the convertible debt, right, which at a 10-cent discount. It was a 2029, I think it was, and was it about 1. I'm just trying to remember how much that was now, 1.6 billion, somewhere in that ballpark. And so they've reduced their total debt, I think, down to 6.7 billion. And so that's their leverage. And then they got their amplification, which is their stretch product, which they launch. And they took, of course, raise money from the debt market with their stretch product, and then buy Bitcoin with it. Now that was running beautifully. February, March, April, they were buying tens of thousands of Bitcoin every month. 25 to 35,000 Bitcoin, I think, March and April, which is just a huge number. But that all died about 2 months ago. Obviously, they've also so they've done that, and so they did the long-term picture, but then they didn't have the interest cover, right? So then they got under a lot of pressure for that, and that's the last 2 weeks of 2 months have been real difficult, because the market's going, well, you can't cover your dividends. And then the other side of it was you had the credit agencies saying, well, can you actually sell your Bitcoin if you needed to? And so basically Michael Saylor's done the long game and then done the short game again, and sold Bitcoin down to 32, and then sold a Bitcoin to what was that, 2,500 or so, a Bitcoin to raise capital so that they could cover their dividend interest. And now they've got pretty good dividend coverage. So they've kind of ticked off all the tick boxes. So the market's been really upset about it, a big part of the market, and there's a lot of doubt comes in, especially at the bottom of the market, but it was probably the best time to do it. And so, they've done that. So that when we have a rally now, people are not so worried about the credit worthiness of strategy. And that's essentially the game plan now, I think. If you did it at the top, you're up at the top of the market, but you could have absolutely spiked the market down. You could almost trigger probably a bear market, maybe. It's possible. Obviously, the Bitcoin market is bigger than the digital asset treasuries, because you got to remember that when they buy the Bitcoin, it gets sunk. It's almost like it just gets put away in a vault for the most part. Obviously, these guys are now selling a little bit if it makes sense. In other words, is it tax accretive? Is it in the money? Because Michael Saylor's strategy, out of that 843,000, a lot of that is in the money, right? So they bought much lower prices than their average price, right? So the average price, was it 74 or something, is now, probably they bought stuff at 20, 30, 40. So they have got decent volumes at that level, so they are selling in profit, but they certainly lower the Bitcoin holdings that they have. But the idea is to get stretched back in the money at $100 so they can raise more capital, and that's something that's we're constantly tracking that. They're going to be able to do that within a month or two from here, and obviously they've done a lot of innovation, a move to bi-monthly, But I think the market's just getting used to that. A lot of retail is also buying the product as opposed to institutions, which are probably just waiting to see. But now that they've got all this, credit worthiness, so to speak, and of course this interest coverage, which I think is at a reasonable level, they should be able to gain confidence as they move forward and maybe get more institutional buyers. And I think we saw recently an institutional buyer pick up some MSTR. So we're going to keep looking at that moving forward. Anyway, they're obviously down on the old treasury list here, but we do see Strive at number 7, which has been a big buyer doing similar strategies, but with daily dividends. So they've moved to that. It's a real innovation coming from the crypto in the debt markets with preferred stock. And they're just sitting below, 20,000 Bitcoin. So they're going to be, I think, a real all-star. Now, Strive has their management team are from the money market, bond markets, essentially. They know how to manage, billion-dollar portfolios. And so they've been, I think, doing a great job there. Now, they've also mentioned that even if they get back to $100 on their SATA, which is their preferred stock, that they may or may not, issue more SATA to raise capital from the debt markets to buy Bitcoin. They've obviously watching their amplification ratio. I think they've talked to pretty much getting up to maybe 60%, which is fairly high. You're obviously backing that Bitcoin's going to grow. For strategy, of course, Bitcoin needs to grow by at least 3.3% or something per year, so they can, pay for their dividends forever, so to speak. So you got a bit of that. But if the price of Bitcoin moves sideways, then you got the time value of money in there, and that costs them. And obviously, if the Bitcoin moves down as well. So on a flat or down market, it's not so great for these digital asset treasuries. In an up market, of course, everything looks glorious, right? It looks glorious. So that's some of the thoughts here around these products. Now, why is this so important? Well, obviously, these guys are buying tons of Bitcoin, and these guys are also, and that's taking it off the market. And they want to accumulate as much as they can. And secondly, they are transferring money from the debt markets into Bitcoin, and that's all economic flow coming into crypto, and that's good for all of us, right? So it's good. More money sloshing around is good for all of us there, and people getting wealthier, and we're getting that big transfer from the debt markets, because the debt market's pretty lazy, pretty old, pretty sleepy. It's worth 300 trillion or so. And the yields are pretty pathetic, 2 to 4%. The banks steal all the money from deposits. We go through all the rubbish that we have to deal with banks. Who's going to disintermediate banks? Well, it's got to be blockchain and crypto, and we're in the best chance to do that ever. But of course, the powers to be, the controllers protecting the banks and bowing to the banks, and the banks there pushing a lot of pressure. And so we've got this big battle going on. But it's the battle for freedom as well, right? Freedom and being treated as a human being. A lot of banks treat people really badly, and they act almost government-like, right? And they're really nasty, little government departments. So you got all that. So freedom is in crypto, and that's hopefully we're going to get disintermediate banks even more and more. That being said, a lot of the banks are trying to take over the key roles in all of crypto, and of course we're talking about DTCC coming up. This does a lot of the settlement layer stuff. They've got 114 trillion under market management and traditional markets. They're going to be fully in crypto by October, and they're going to try and control a lot of payment settlement systems. They're obviously supporting a lot of the technology that's coming up, and a lot of these tokenized stocks and everything. So, we just can't get rid of them, can we? But what's the payoff? Well, you get paid for it. You get paid if you're in the right stuff. So if you're holding the right stuff, you're going to get compensated for that loss of dominance there. And so it's a bit of a battle, isn't it? A bit of a battle. DeFi is the ultimate freedom, hopefully. We've got Sean in the house there, up only in RH, we believe. Yeah, definitely, Sean, definitely up only indeed. I don't know if you saw, you probably did, a little LibertySwap Season 3 video, a little Richard Hart in there, which is pretty good, well animated. I'm not so sure I agree with the ending feature, but apart from that, it's we're looking forward to episode 4. Hopefully, it's going to be a bit more elusive there. So we've got some ones on the move there. Now, CleanSpark looks like they've increased their Bitcoin here. Got their up arrow. American Bitcoin Corp looks they've got an up arrow as well. So it looks like they're all on the increasing their Bitcoin. Boya, Orange, BTC, all on the up arrows here. So it looks like we've got a move on. Now, the big thing we're looking forward to is Metaplanet. I think that's going to be huge. They're wanting to, get 100,000 Bitcoin this year. Head towards 1% of supply. We've got also Bitcoin Standard Treasury also on the move. They've delayed their vote. They're trying to make sure they get the company structured right. I think it's the one. I think no, they had just had their vote, so I think they are trying to do something around that reorganization. Actually, it's MetaPlanet, I think, that's delaying that to make sure they got the right setup. Now I'm just a little confused. It's one of those two. I'll have to double check. But I'm probably confusing myself. But those are all on the move as well. So you can see some of the big ones here in the top 5 looking to buy more Bitcoin. So you can kind of see digital asset treasuries going to play a big role with equity and hopefully get the debt market back online once the preferred stock get back to $100. Now that all said, let's see where the digital capital is. So even if we have the 4-year cycle roll out all the way through to October, there's only a few months left in this depegging, as it were, from $100, or at least we've got Stretch at the moment, which is the Michael Saylor strategy preferred stock, $87.68. This should be $100 if we're, it should be around its fair price. It should be self-regulating, but that might take a few months apparently. And we certainly a lot of retail buy this, and you know how dumpy retail is as well. And there are a few institutions, and they may also be a bit triggery as well. But the effective yield is 13%. I think they're going to market with 12%, so I'm not sure why this is saying 11.5% here. And then we got SATA at $97.55. So close to $100, but just won't get back there at the moment. And the yield is 13.3%. And they're paying daily dividends, right? So I don't know what they've done 23 days in a row now. What a game changer for if you're retired. Obviously, you got the underlying collateral as in Bitcoin, so as long as you trust that. But I just think that it's essentially if you don't think Bitcoin's going to $5,000 or less or something, I think it's 5,000 around that. Then you're probably fine. Now it can depeg a lot, right? We've seen Stretch depeg to $75. It has done that 3 or 4 times before. Previously, it only been about up to 22 days, 23 days. This time, of course, it's gone well past a month now. So but we have got Bitcoin trying to find the bottom as well. So we're just going to have that leverage moving of the underlying asset, and confidence and momentum, all that play into it as well. It's early days, so there's a maturity argument as well. As the market matures, this should probably get more stable around that $100. But in any case, if it's over $100, if you can raise a couple $1 billion a month, you can buy tens of thousands of Bitcoin at the current price. That's a game changer, right? It's a win-win, because you don't see the Bitcoin, generally speaking, again until they need to do a dividend raising round or something like that. All right, so that's kind of where we are on the old markets. So we're going to keep watching that. The other big players category is ETFs. So another way of large investors and corporations to invest is through the Bitcoin ETFs. And we can see that we actually had a decent day on the 10th. So that was yesterday. We had 56 Bitcoin, not a lot, but it was a positive day at least. But the previous 2 days before that were negative, 1,500 Bitcoin, 1,300 Bitcoin sell down. And they've, have been a fairly decent seller over the last, sort of 10 days. We've had a couple of positive days, 4,000, 3,000 on the 6th and the 2nd of July. But as you can see from the 11th of January 2024, so basically the last 2.5 years, they have accumulated 653,000 Bitcoin. Not too bad, right? And total all up 638,000. So they've accumulated all that Bitcoin. So, if we can get, we've got the whales buying, and then we get the debt markets back operating with the Stretch products, and then we get and a bit of equity buying, right? We've got new players coming in, big players, MetaPlanet and others this year. American Bitcoin and all that sort of stuff, and then we get the so we've got the whales, then the DATs, and then we get the ETFs starting to come in at the end and buying, and then of course we get the retail coming in. So and then we very well, excuse me, might get the US government coming in if they decide to start, buying 200,000 Bitcoin a year. However they decide to do that, it's absolutely game on, right? And so Bitcoin can appreciate violently to the upside. And I might say that again, violently to the upside. And especially if we're on the edge of this 4-year cycle play out as well over the next few months. So you're going to see, just be patient. And we're going to watch, I think, this thing do some pretty glorious things. All right. So that's kind of cool. Let's jump away to the future then. So the future, we've got power law. This seems to be our best model holding up. Has definitely been tested for the first time, really. So you can sort of see it touches the bottom, the red line, the resist support line. but it continues to go up. We certainly had it challenged this time. I think we dipped slightly below the support line. I believe it was the first time, yeah. And so let's have a zoom in on here and see where we might be going in the future. So, you can see us dip down there. If we look at let me get the right time here. What day is it now? It's the 10th, 11th, is it? 11th. 10th, and let me just see here. We got the 10th here. So 60,476 now is the support line. So we're really, it was down at 57, 58, 59. We're now at 60,674, and we're 64,100. So we're sitting, what, 3,600 bucks, 3,000, yeah, $3,600 above the red line, the support line. The midpoint, the linear regression fit, the green line, is 170,000. So that's above our recent all-time high that we did, which was around 127 back here. But what's the end of the year looking like? Well, just like we come down pretty quickly, we've certainly got enough time to end the end of the year pretty nicely, even if we start rising in September, October, or even as early as August or something. Then you got the midpoint here at 200,000. So I'm just rounding it down, 201, but $200,000. So that could be where we head to. Some people are saying, well, we might get to a new all-time high by the end of the year. Maybe 140, 150, but Power Law is indicating we could get to 200 quite comfortably on the Power Law, and the top of the range is actually 690K. Now, I'm not suggesting we're going to head towards that by the end of the year, but certainly over the next 2 years, it's plausible that we could hit a big number like that. And so, especially if we're on the bottom of the cycle, what's a 3x from here? I mean, sort of 180, 180 definitely doable, and maybe even 240. So 240 would be pretty good. And funnily enough, if we get to June next year, we got the Power Law at 230. So that's just within the next 12 months. Now, moving out further afield, 18 months, we're talking about 275K as the midpoint. And then talking about 2 years out, which is when we first get the chance of the Power Laws indicating the first time we could get the chance of hitting $1 million Bitcoin is the 1st of June, 2028. Now, I think we would, supply is disappearing, and we're coming up also to, a halving eventually in this time frame. And we also have so many demand forces in favor and a booming economy in the US that I think this is definitely plausible here. Right, definitely plausible here. The US is going to be, I think, just getting relative to the rest of the world. The rest of the West is in a lot of trouble. Most countries, not all, but most countries in the West are in big trouble because they're ran by terrible leaders. And you guys know my thoughts on that. So I won't go say much more. But when you've got the patients in charge of the asylum, it feels like that, right? The charge of society. They come out of the asylum and charge society. It's like that. But in America, it's looking incredible. I mean, it really is looking amazing. Things are really turning around. And so you got this 2 years here. We've got very promising numbers. We get out to June, the end of June. We're talking about 318,000 as the midpoint, but you got $1 million at the top of the range there. So if we do get one of these banana moves to the upside, then anything above this green line to purple line is in play, which is very exciting. Now, some people are calling $1 million by 2030, so that would get you all the way out here. The Power Law indicates 1.5 million. So, $1 million's a nice discount to that. So that's definitely plausible. So a lot of people calling $1 million Bitcoin by then. But if Michael Saylor can get the debt markets working, the stretch markets back on within a few months, start accumulating tens of thousands of Bitcoin, and you get all the ETFs flying back in, and you get maybe the White House strategy, you got sovereign states coming in, individual states, all that sort of stuff. And they're passing a lot of laws to try and accumulate Bitcoin as well. And you get all the corporate adoption, which is going to happen over the next few years. Then it's massive for the old Bitcoin. So I'm not worried about Bitcoin at all. I think it's going to be pretty stellar, and the supply is disappearing. So let's quickly look at the halvings. We're going to have a look at the halvings chart. So hopefully that's kind of we're tracking that, and we're certainly testing the Power Law now. But let's have a look at the halving progress. So here's a halving chart. So this green line's all the halvings, and you can see every business. This is the year down the bottom, and you can see the price on the top left there in log scale. And so we got 64,337, and I really see this this point here. We got up to 127, I think it was, around. And we got the halving coming up here. So they're in that next green line there. So there we go. That's in 2028. So in I guess the end of the first quarter. And so that's coming up. And that's within that 2-year horizon. So, we're going to go from 450 Bitcoin mined per day to 225 Bitcoin mined a day, right? And so if you can get even the digital asset treasuries back into par, doing billions of dollars a month, they're going to be consuming many, many times that, right? Many times, maybe 5-10 times that amount of Bitcoin. So we're going to be watching that move forward as well. And then you get all the other buyers over the top. So it's just going to get swamped. Once we get down to 225, it's not a lot, right? So what's that a month? Let's just do a 30-day month. That's 6,750. So presumably that is currently sitting at 13,500. So dropping from $13,500, $13,500 Bitcoin for the miners. Now you're halving that dumpability at the 6,750. And so that's pretty good. And you can see after all the other halvings, here. Look at the banana part rallies that we've had. Banana rally here. So this was 2012 banana rally. This is 2016, 2017 banana rally. And of course we had the ICO season there too. And then we had 2021, 22 we had the double tops. And we, of course, that rallied out after halving as well. And then of course we had a much more muted rise here up into after the last halving that we had in 24. But I think the only way is up. The Bitcoin dumpability is going, the digital assets accumulating, and that all those things should continue to go. All right, so we keep a watch out for that. We've got obviously in July, August, we've got the Clarity Act. Next week, there's some sort of hearing on around the Clarity Act to push that forward. I think the biggest, obviously they've been integrating all the different pieces from the different committees, Agriculture, Finance Committee, etc. This ethics work that Warren wants into, regarding Trump and his profitability through his arm length investing in crypto. What was it, 1.6 billion or something? So we've got all that stuff going through, and I think the ethics thing is the biggest thing that's holding that up. But we're hoping to still try and get that through by the first week, I think the 7th of August, before recess there. And then, it's pretty important. Now, we've heard different people saying positive things about it, CFTC, SEC, some of the senators, etc. But then we've also got, people that are still trying to, shut it down a little bit, like Warren and others. And you hear some people say, maybe they've got the numbers they need, probably around 7 Democrat senators, plus or minus one. If they lose a Republican, for example, and or gain a Democrat. So it's definitely doable. And hopefully we get it through. Because if they don't, they defer it way longer. I mean, could get not even deferred this year because, got midterms coming in November and there's competing other legislation going through as well. So you got all that gamification going on. And then you got the banks, Morgan Stanley, that getting in the play. So we'll see where it lands. But at the moment, I think it's sitting around 50%, so 50-50, which is not great. Certainly would like to get that up towards 65 or something, 70%. But we'll stay optimistic at the stage. And of course, that to be a massive catalyst. Not a massive catalyst for the banks and all these other different regulated products, but the whole thing would be regulated. And also the powers of the CFTC over spot markets would be in play as well. And I think that's going to be important moving forward. All right, so there's some thoughts there. We can keep watching that catalyst. Obviously, there's other catalysts as well around the White House and Bitcoin strategy. Also, the crypto project from the CFTC, SEC stuff going through as well. That would be a proxy. So if the Clarity Act either fails to go through or gets deferred way further in the future, then they could pass a lot of regulations to help sort of put it in place to some degree, excluding the spot trading with the CFTC. And so we'll get some sort of proxy potentially for it. But that said, we already know, a lot of the players are coming in already. The banks, they're already buying up the companies and already, tokenizing stocks and everything else. So that's already really on the move. But it's certainly going to be important for US regulations there as well, if they can get that act through, and innovation in particular. So we'll keep watching all those themes. That's the Bitcoin right now. So I hope you enjoyed the discussion there. Moving forward to Ethereum. Well, Ethereum's got its own play, and at the moment we're at $1,793. We've got the daily chart here, and I'm just going to hide the stochastic RSI. Oh, no, I'm not. I've just made it big. Go to hide the stochastic. But let's pull back the 50. And so we're above the 50 right now. So that's even better than Bitcoin. Say what? That's crazy. We're below on Bitcoin. This is a bit of a reversal of things. And I think, Ethereum's looking a little bit better lately, I think. Certainly, we've come off the bottom there at $1,500. We're above the 50-day moving average, which is now at 1767. And we're at 1798. So, we're about $30 above it, 25, $30. We've got the 200 moving average at 2227, so there is a nice target there. And when we had that big flash crash there, we were at 2000. So obviously 2000 is a big hurdle to get over there. And then the next one will be 227. By the time we actually try to break that, it's going to be much lower, right? So game on. All right, so let's see. And what we would like to see also is a reversal. Like if we can get a bit of price appreciation here, get the 50 moving back up, we can get a golden cross again, right? So we had this death cross back here. November last year after the run up in October. That'd be very exciting. Let's bring back the weekly candles. Weekly candle, of course, we've been in this 5-year accumulation. Let me just full screen this. So we've got this 5-year accumulation on the chart, and 5K has been the resistance. And I certainly think that next time we break the 5K, I think we're going higher. So we're going to go, and if we break 5K, we're going raw high. We're going 10 to 20. 20 plus K is on the next move. And not just because we break the TA on 5K, but because of the drivers that are driving us there, right? Stablecoin boom, tokenization, and AI, particularly payment rails, moving towards payment rails and finance and mass adoption and institutional adoption. We're getting it all, the whole thing, the whole package. And of course, it's not going to be the ultimate vision, but it will be somewhere along that direction and heading in that direction quite dramatically there. Who are the key players? We've got a lot of key players happening. Obviously, we've seen the digital asset treasuries come up and they're going to fund the programs, particularly Bitmine and Sharplink. Those are common stocks, BMNR and SBET. And so they're going to be sponsoring that. We've seen them, announce 2 new organizations, ETH Labs and Ethereum Institutionals, focused on upgrading the Ethereum chain more commercially. And also helping mass adoption of institutions. So really, really powerful there, accelerating that adoption and moving of finance over from traditional markets to the blockchain markets, which is a tech upgrade, right? Tech upgrade there, and access to a lot of new clients as well, I might add, particularly non-US. So we've got all that stuff going. We know Tom Lee is got a big picture in mind. They're doing a lot of strategizing, using a lot of their connections and ability to raise capital, and they are looking to bring finance over, help everyone come over and make the chain more valuable, move the direction of the chain more commercial, including the Ethereum foundations. We've got 3 foundations now kicking up. I think we might see 1 or 2 more. I just suspect, just based on some of the language we're hearing from them, but we'll see. So that's on the play. We also know that he's going to be doing mass adoption with Mr. Beast. So they did an investment earlier this year. That might be through some apps, and Mr. Beast there reaching 1/3 of the internet every month, with about targeting particularly the younger generations, generation Y and Z, and part of the millennials. So imagine that mass adoption. You can do it by mass adoption. You either have a couple of big people come and buy everything up, or you have tens to hundreds of millions of people come and buy. Can you imagine the buy pressure there, in addition to all the institutions coming over? So it really is a global movement we could potentially see over the next 2 to 10 years. And particularly the next couple of years could be incredibly value appreciative there. Now, we might see this as early as the end of the year. Mr. Beast, I think, said about a month ago that they were still working on things. So, they bought the Leap app, the finance app, earlier in the year with the money that Tom Lee probably gave them, the 200 million. And so they are still working on that. So I suspect the earliest we might see that is towards the end of the year. Mr. Beast, of course, has gone over $1 billion in revenue. Who needs AdSense revenue when you can, move into selling chocolate and other things, right? But he realizes that, he's not going to be young forever, and it takes a lot of energy to run these things. And so he's diversifying, and going into finance is the biggest thing you probably do, right? So I think it's game changer there. So I suspect we may see some sort of Ethereum offering, maybe even more broad offerings, tokenization, etc., through these apps, Mr. Beast and possibly through Bitmine. So we'll see how that all plays out. They're the ones putting all that pieces together. But it's exciting. It's exciting. So that's the catalyst for us blowing past here, along with agentic AI, payment systems, and we're expecting that to explode, absolutely explode, because it's digital, right? So once people have enough good ideas, obviously trading bots and, picking up cryptos and lots of stuff are running, but I think it's just going to mature well beyond that. So we keep looking out for those killer apps as well moving forward. So it's kind of cool. And of course, it's still very early days and all that stuff. So we'll watch this chart moving forward. Now, the 200 weekly moving average is at 2472. So that'll be kind of that next natural target. And the one behind after that is the 50 week, and that's at 2900. So there we go. I think we've got, 2000, 2200, 2500, and then 2900 at the moment, kind of as natural targets there on the moving averages. All right. And that 5K, break that. So, anytime we've been down here, it's kind of been a good buying zone. Look at this. I mean, it's pretty obvious. And then it's pretty easy money all the way back to 5K. And if we break it with all these fundamental movements here, as finance moves over to blockchain, and particularly Ethereum, then we're onwards to the upside. Now, let's look at we've made a lot of claims there. Let's look at some of the substantiators for those claims. So we're going to go to Token Terminal, and we've got a really cool insight here. Now, tokenization is a much broader topic than this, and we've talked about commodities and stocks recently with Ondo and X stocks and others, and all the other players coming in there. I think yesterday we also saw what was it, Backpack Wallet, which is Solana Wallet, now doing tokenized stocks as well. So you can kind of see all these big wallets that have lots of users and lots of volume, and now accessing tokenized stocks and commodities and ETFs and things. It's just a rampant takeover of crypto in that sense. And we've got LibertySwap bringing that to us this month, right, as well, with spots and perpetuals. So we're excited about all that. It's coming to Pulse Chain. So anyway, the top 21 fastest growing tokenized assets, 17 of them are deployed on Ethereum. How about that? Top 3 assets are issued by 3Jane, JP Morgan, and Securitize. Obviously, we talk about Securitize a lot there. Now, these guys are often hooked into some of these big traditional players coming in, like DTCC with the settlement layer, 114 trillion under management. So you can kind of see, if you have an infrastructure map of how it's all playing out, some of those are accessible through buying their tokens, like buying Ondo, for example. And so, you do get access to some of this value chain. And those are kind of where you expect a lot of money to flow, because they're going to benefit from the whole setup. Looking forward to all those volumes going through. Now, we've got a cool picture here. You can see 3Jane at the top there with USD3. We got JLTXX, JP Morgan. These are tokenized funds as well. We've got reference asset yield strategy. And so yield strategies often, set up to obviously do what they say, give you yield. And these are tokenized funds. Then you've got stable coins, US dollars. You've got credit funds as well. And then you've got UST bills. So you've got all these different things going on. US dollars, lots of stable coins. You can see here there's not commodities and stocks in here. So that's why probably some names are missing, like Ondo and others, although they do their own stable coins offerings. But you can kind of see the securitizers topping the list here, etc. So pretty exciting stuff. And as we say, 17 out of these all on the Ethereum here. So Ethereum, a key winner there. Obviously, we expect Solana and a few other chains to do well, but you can see the dominance Ethereum's having here. So game on. And of course, we see the explosion of commodities and stocks as well, booming. And it's just takeoff phase, guys. It's just the takeoff phase. I mean, I think by October, when DTCC is fully on board, it's just going to be a massive, giant leap up. It's like jumping from the Earth to the moon almost. It's going to be a big move. All right, so that is pretty exciting. Now, Tom Lee here, he's obviously been talking about he's been buying for Bitmine, and we're going to have a quick look at this video. He gets asked a question about that. Now, he recently, this week, he bought some more. He bought another $40 million of ETH, right? So another $40 million ETH there. I think that's, to about 20,000 ETH or so. So they're getting closer and closer to their 5% alchemy. And as you guys know, they've actually got enough cash technically to buy all of it right now and get themselves to 6 million and 35,000 ETH. So I think that's pretty much in the pocket now. Now the question is he going to go to 10 to 12% of supply? That's a question I asked. Now, obviously, with the market down right now, it's not easy to raise capital, so I'm not suspecting that's going to happen right now. And he's focused on institutional mass adoption and bring finance over. But it's going to be interesting. Now, he also gets paid for targets as well, so he's got some private incentives, obviously, hitting the 5%. I think he gets paid $15 million for that. But actually, it's we're just going to see how that goes. Now, I think BMNR is sitting at about $15 right now, so it's certainly low. I think it recently hit $12.50, something like that, $12.50. And so it's way off its all-time high. But once again, it's a leverage on Ethereum. So if Ethereum rallies, it's going to hyper leverage to the upside. I mean, it's just pretty much that. I don't see too much difference here. Certainly, it's down quite a bit there, but certainly an opportunity. If we're down the bottom of the market, it's kind of a no-brainer, right? But once again, not financial advice, due diligence. Now let's listen to Tom for his 3 minutes long. So enjoy.
Crypto is well off its highs. Bitcoin's down, has been cut in half. Ethereum's lost about 2/3 of its value. Your firm, Bitmine, a digital asset treasury, yesterday bought over 40 million of Ethereum. Why are you bullish?
The reason we were bullish on crypto at the start of this year and really for the last 10 years is that cryptocurrencies and blockchains do solve an important problem, which is how do you do trusted transactions between two untrusted parties? And that type of settlement and finality has been proven because, Bitcoin and Ethereum in their entire history has never recorded a fraudulent entry. And that is why Wall Street is building tokenized assets and building stablecoin rails. And I think over time, using blockchain actually as a replacement for a lot of the legacy financial rails. For instance, there's a Goldman Sachs conference in Europe, in London today, and the number of attendees is actually almost tripled from a year ago. Similarly, I'm bullish on crypto because I think as agents and AI become a lot wealthier, and we're starting to see, agents create wealth for us and robots create wealth for us. To us, the opportunity is that we may be reaching a point where agents actually own more wealth than we do. And I'm going to call that the, quote, uncanny valley of wealth, that there may be a point in time where if our delegated agents make more money than us, we're going to wonder if we work for them or they work for us. And I think that is the reason why crypto and a lot of the technologists are starting to realize that crypto is really one of the ways for humans to control the future role of agents. So I think those two mega trends are still in place, but crypto prices have been absolutely terrible this year. I think part of it is macro. The monetary policy is not dovish. It looked dovish 6 months ago, right? Market was looking for 2 cuts. Now it's 2 hikes. That's a headwind. The Clarity Act, which was supposed to help provide and create federal preemption of cryptocurrency rules and let the CFTC essentially have purview over that industry, that's still stuck in the Congress processes. And AI, of course, has done so well that I think it's not only taken away attention, but it's actually taken away investor capital. So I think those are, to me, headwinds, but they're not creating what I call intermodal replacements. I think blockchain is still going to be central to the future of the financial services industry and actually to how we manage AI.
All right, so that was Tom Lee there. Of course, the CEO of Bitmine, also is Fundstrat, the stock market investment research firm as well. And so, that's from the man himself. Now, he is working behind the scenes, as we say, to essentially, I would say, the leader now of Ethereum. Now, there are other very key players, obviously, like Vitalik and others. But in terms of public leadership and also working on the whole strategy of bringing finance, accelerating the whole process, supporting the new foundations, ETH Labs, and Ethereum institutional, it's game on. And so I'm less interested in his price predictions, although they're always interesting. He hasn't been that accurate with a lot of stuff on the old crypto, very accurate on the stock market side. But it's really about the strategy, right? Rolling that, and he is the perfect guy to do it. He's the perfect crossover guy, the perfect leader guy, very smart, and of course knows all the players and making all that stuff happen. And of course, invested in Mr. Beast. I think that was a very insightful move. So I'm very excited about where he's heading. So that's pretty much our coverage of the crypto majors with Bitcoin and Ethereum. So we're going to be tracking that over the next, July, August, September, October, and see whether we can round off that bottom and move early to the upside on the rally for the second half of the year, which I'm expecting in play. And if the power law is right, maybe we even potentially hit 200K this year, but certainly, somewhere between 125, 150 seems reasonable in this time frame. So we'll keep a lookout for that. All right, we've got Pulse Chain. So Pulse Chain, of course, is a full system stake fork of Ethereum based on the 10th of May 2023. We're going to look at my little article. Actually, I did an article there on X, because I've seen a lot of discussion around. I thought I'd look into myself and do a little write-up. So we're going to do that in a minute. But we've got Pulse Chain at the moment at day 1,155. The price at the moment is sitting at 5,900. So not that pleasing a price. I think we can all agree. We were trying to get away from the all-time low, which was at 5,400. So we're less than 10% above that right now. We got Hex at the moment at 0.0092. That lost to zero for a couple of days. Was back to 1/10 of a penny, but is down 1.9% today. We've just been dropping about 1-2%, maybe even 3% a day, but consecutively, right? So ProveX there is at 4,042. That's pretty much flat today, just down very slightly. PulseX at 505 something, that's down 1.4%, and Ink Token at 29 cents, down 1.5%. So those are the Richard Hart cores. They make up most of the volume on Pulse Chain. Obviously, there's a few other outsiders there, like PDI, James Maria tokens, OG Redshift tokens, occasionally LibertySwap, Peacock in the mix there as well. But those are generally the ones that got the big volumes on the Pulse Chain. So not a huge group, but certainly consistent. We'll take consistency at decent levels over nothing, right? That's pretty much it. All right, so let's go to the gas prices. We've got 407,000 beats, so extremely low the last 2 days. I mean, it's even lower than normal. Normally we're doing minimum 450, and now we're down 420. So that indicates low volumes as well. We're at 62 pulse for a PulseX swap, 400th of a penny, so super cheap, obviously. Let's go to the validators. How are we doing validators there? Hey, look, we've gained about 150 validators from the looks of it. I think we're at 33,950 or something yesterday. So we have gained maybe 100 or 200 over the last couple of days. That's kind of cool. Still a lot of work to do there. That's all we can say about that, really. Let's go to the bridge stats. This is kind of a leading indicator. Well, we're up just over $1 million at the moment. So we're just up just over $1 million. So 47.59 is our all-time low there, at least a low here. And then we've got, so we're up, 59. So we're up, maybe 1.1 million or so on the old bridge. So it is what it is. At least we're not at the bottom, I guess. Was that Jenny on the block say? No, we're at the bottom, we're here. Is that what she says? Is that her song? Hey, we've got Bitfinex in the house. Hey, big shout out. Price changes so fast, so rapidly, so far up. So far, so up. I'd rather have a chain that respects freedom. Freedom is hard to come by today, even harder to come by in the future. Give me the best tech, price later. Yeah, that's true. That's true. All right, so that is pretty much the mark there. We're going to have a quick look at the Pulse Chain. I'm not going to go through all this because obviously we're coming back down. At this stage, we're on a run rate to test the bottom again. We look at the last few days. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 days in a row red. We've got a green day at the moment, but fingers crossed we can bounce here. All-time low was back here at 5,400. That's 50 5,400. We're now at 50 59. So pretty weak there. We lost our higher low. All right, we had the higher low here at 6,000. We lost that, and so it is what it is. We'll just have to wait till we can recover here. So we've still got this downward curve here. Certainly hope we don't continue on with that. We're trying to find the bottom here. So we certainly don't want to go down here. I mean, it's like 4,700 or so. So hopefully we can hold on and at the very least to 5,400. But we had definitely got structural change in the chart. But we definitely got a lot of weakness at the very bottom of this rounding in the crypto majors as well. So we'll see where we go here. All right, so let's continue on. Now, I was going to cover the markets at the moment, but I want to do first, before we do that, is go and cover this this post I made yesterday. So let's go do that. Where did it go? It's gone all the way down, has it? I'm not sure where it's, I don't think it was down this far. Let me do a refresh here. I'm not sure where it's gone. We go past some of these posts. So this one here. So here we go. So hopefully you guys find this interesting. Now, if you are doing anything around blockchain technology or anything like that, let me leave your comments. If you got any insights that I don't talk about here, let me know as well. Happy to follow those up. All right, so Pulse Chain and Ethereum forks, 6 key points, what we have learned so far, history and future. So the first point I made was Pulse Chain, obviously a fork of Ethereum on the 10th of May 2023. It's had no major hard forks. So we've had these upgrades from Ethereum, which I'll talk about later, but we've had none of those really applied. We've had parts of them applied through clients updates, and that's it so far, which is fine. I mean, it keeps us kind of up with some of the technology upgrades from Ethereum. Obviously Pulse Chain provides stability. We've had pretty stable chain, multi-client diversity, so we've definitely got that. We've got Go Pulse, Aragon Pulse, Prism, and Lighthouse. So we've got these clients, and we also got obviously low fees by design. What's at 25% lower than Ethereum. And we got slightly faster block times, right? 10 seconds. We got Bretep, who's essentially, I don't know if he's the last of Pulse Chain dev, but almost feels like it. But he's sort of the lead Pulse Chain dev there. I just call him key Pulse Chain dev. Bretep there, really great guy, very ethical guy, all that good stuff. He seems to be pretty much maintain the chain. I'm not sure who, maybe he's working with one or two others, but maintain the chain there. And that's Pulse Chain dev, presumably getting paid, paid from the man, the myth, and the legend. And of course, repeatedly calls it a hard fork of Ethereum with a byte for byte snapshot. Obviously, you got slower, lower inflation, and is truly decentralized in that sense. We've got what do we say, 44,000 validators. Obviously, people can critique some of those validators, like the German node and dispatching and things like that. But apart from that, it's still decentralized and 10 times more than the combined of many other top chains. So it's fairly decent in that sense. Any hard fork changes will need a super majority of validators. So if we do a hard fork, it would be quite a process. I just think that if it was that case, it'd probably need Richard Hart to signal that, which is a little bit anti-decentralization if you think about it. But you've got to communicate the message and get people updating and all that sort of stuff. So it could be a bit of a exercise. So any hard fork requires a supermajority of validators. Well, what is that? 2/3 of the validators there, so 44,000. 2/3 of those, or 66.67%. There's obviously no central council, right? So if you had central council, you're not very DeFi, you're decentralized. Now, recent posts from BTC stressed zero downtime. Obviously, talking about the chain is just robust. It's just keeping going, just like Ethereum, but robust there. And of course, it doesn't, obviously have a lot of those technological upgrades from Ethereum. Well, it has some of them, but not all of them as hard forks with the EIP upgrades. Client diversity for security. So it's obviously got that cool clients, that we've got here for diversity there. All right, so that's ticking away. Richard Hart. Now, point number 3, Richard Hart, the founder. He stays pretty high level with stuff, and of course, we don't hear too much from him about this. Every so often, he'll give us a little bit of a chess move, but he basically praises the original fork, and he continues to, pushes its strengths, which is, its speed's pretty decent, its privacy is, hopefully evolving, and its freedom. But the other side of course, the chain's just pretty robust, right? And just keeps going with obviously Bretep doing some slight upgrades and maintenance. No detailed public comments on validated mechanics or future upgrades like Bretep. So we haven't really seen anything from him about that recently. Now, number 4, Ethereum has shipped a Deacon. These are the upgrades. So obviously Pulse Chain launched, it was snapshot was 10th of May 2023. So since that time on Ethereum, we've had the upgrade of Deacon to 2024, Pictra there 2025, Fusaka late 2025, and of course Glamsterdam's coming up in 2026. Now Glamsterdam's going to be particularly beneficial to layer 2s, and it's not really a thing on Pulse Chain. I know some people talk about some of the layer 2 technologies, but that's really not a big thing here, and of course we'll talk about that in a minute. Obviously, they've had blobs for scaling, staking improvements, and more frequent upgrades coming. So they're going to have obviously a 10,000 transactions per second, all that sort of stuff, changing the gas limits there, trying to reduce, increase the transactions at a cheaper price. And potentially in the future, they'll be mucking around with the tokenization more around the supply of ETH and emissions there. So Glampstam's coming up next. So I'm not suspecting we'll get, even though it's got some good stuff in there, I haven't had anything from BTC about that, so I suggest that doesn't look like it's in play. And like I say, even if we did a hard fork, we'd need a supermajority of validators, and that I know that'd be an interesting exercise. So what else there? We got Pulse Chain has selectively backported some, so we have had some of the the technology upgrades through the clients, through these things up here, GoPost and Aragon, those sort of things. And so, Pulse Chain selectively backported some. Cancun and Aragon Pulse as an example via clients, but skipped full adoption there. So, we've got keeping up partially with that, with the tech. Number 5, not upgrading a missed opportunity. So it's a question: is it a missed opportunity there? Perhaps moderately, yes. Better layer 2 costs and stuff like that, but we don't have too much layer 2 stuff. I know some of the PDI guys are talking about layer 2 stuff, and we saw a rug pull there recently. There's a little bit of going on there, but Pulse Chain's a layer 1 chain, and that's the battle tested chain, and I think it's got plenty of room to move. And it just does bring a little bit of question into Glampstam and upgrading TPS and things like that. But I don't think that's a problem for Pulse Chain for some time. So Richard Hart prefers layer 1. Obviously, I'm being very friendly with that language. He loves the layer 1, and of course I do too. I'm pretty much in that camp too. So that's pretty much it. Compatibility, obviously, and future-proofing. I think those are obviously 2 important things. Now, compatibility there, obviously we've had the clients upgrades, so some partial backporting there. So keeping up to pace to some degree, not completely, of course, because we haven't had the full hard forks. And future-proofing. Now, at some stage, we might have a hard fork. Maybe we're going to be forced to do it if this quantum threat does emerge in the future. And of course, quantum is accelerating. It's getting more powerful, and software's getting more clever. It's a possibility. Then quantum preparation would need a hard fork. So we would need to do that. And that for me is likely a contender for the hard fork. So maybe some of these other improvements, around data, blobs, and transactions and costs and inflation, all these sort of things, which are things that are going to be addressed, I think, moving forward with Glampstam and of course all these new foundations with ETH Labs and the Ethereum Foundation. We'll see towards commercialization. We'll see whether any of those meet the threshold. Maybe that might entice Bretep and Richard to actually do something there. So those are my thoughts on it. Obviously, you can let me know your comments about that. But Pulse Chain's trade-off delivers cheaper transactions, obviously, and uptime for the community. So it's been pretty reliable. Selective upgrades remain possible without full parity there. So we can also do apply some of the technology in the client upgrades, as we've done already there. An example, of course, I gave was up here. When did I do it? Where did I put that there? The Cancun and Aragon Pulse. All right, so number 6, adopting one Ethereum fork doesn't require all prior ones. So that's probably important to know. EIPs are often modular, but quantum resistance is probably going to be the chief consideration moving forward, perhaps. Almost certainly a hard fork would require new signatures change validation rules. So that's kind of the reasoning behind that. So just a verdict there to finish it off. Pulse Chain is functional and decentralized by design, but staying closer to Ethereum's upgrade cadence could boost dev activity. Obviously, if some of the upgrades, I believe, I'm not a dev, obviously, but devs can come a little bit blind with some of the differences between ETH chain and Pulse Chain. Although so far, it seems to, it doesn't seem to be affecting some of the basic stuff that we've been getting developed on Pulse Chain, and also make it easier in competitiveness there as well. As the technology perhaps diverges in some areas, that could be interesting moving forward. I don't know. It'd be worth getting some people like Brandon to talk about that. Community validator consensus is the gatekeeper as well. So obviously, if we did do a hard fork, we just do need that super majority, and that would be a pretty interesting exercise. And I just don't. I'd probably need Richard to come out and tell everyone to get onto it, right? I guess that might be the enough messaging there. I don't know. Maybe BTC would be enough. I don't know. We'll see with all the influencers, posting out about it. Let me know your thoughts, of course. And that was the GitHub there. So it's kind of the latest conversation there. You got obviously BTC there. Interesting. You got Giga. Obviously, he's been out there as well, and a few other people in the house having some chats over the last 2 months. So there we go. That was it. So if you like that, leave your comment down the bottom. I thought I'd get a little more engagement on that, but I didn't get that much engagement, funny enough. So people only like pumping bags, not so much. They like to moan about about upgrades perhaps, but not actually talk about it. I don't know. But let us know in there. All right, let's get into the top markets there. We've got $2.8 million today's volume. So we're how are we doing? What was yesterday? Yesterday, was it similar? I think it was similar. 2.9, was it? 2.9. I think it was around 2.9. I think it was 2.5 the day before, if I remember rightly. So 2.8 today. We got PulseX at the moment. It's out of 2.8 is doing 1.9. So we got what's that? Another 900,000. So let's see what LibertySwap's doing. 450. So they're doing half of that. So what do we got there? 450. So we're missing. Is that about another 100,000 or so? We've got 78 here and a bit of 9-inch and Uniswap. There we go. So those are kind of the main ones. The big four is most of the volume on SwitchX is Pulse at the moment. Most of the volume on 9mm is Richard Hart cores, particularly Hex and PulseX. And on LibertySwap, most of the volume is Peacock and Peacock Ninjas, the OG web chef, along with Pulse Chain, Bridged and Wrapped ETH. So actually, they've got a lot more diversification than them, haven't they? That's looking pretty good there. Peacock Ninja's definitely holding up a lot of the volume there from OG web chef. So, that's been performing pretty well, actually, on a consistent basis. Prices come down a little bit there, but other than that, took away. And PulseX, of course, will be surely the Richard Hart cores. Richard Hart cores along with Peacock Ninjas and one other peer, and that's a different peer. And then Richard cores, particularly Hex, in there as well. So there we go. As I say, it's really a lot of the volumes driven there by the old Richard cores, along with OG Web Chef, James Maria often. Now that comes up and down, James Maria stuff, and Peacock there in the mix. So let's look at the top 100s. We're going to go look at PDI afterwards to show you that coin that list as well. Coinbase list, was it coin list, Pulse coin list? That's the one. All right. So top performers at the moment, we've got Pump Tires Die. What the heck? Pump Tires Die back at the top here, up 25% today. Let's have a quick look at it. The old Pump Tires. And we can see the price on the weekly. There's a weekly candles sitting at 000, just under 000, 1400. So we've got, what's that, 13,000th of a penny? I think that's correct, right? And so let's look at pulse ratio, though, of Pump Tires Die. We've got 4 Die tokens, haven't we? 4. Yeah. I keep thinking there might be a 5th, but I just can't remember. Certainly 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. We got, is there 5? Is there 5? I have to think about it. Is there the Bridgeton one? No, there's the ETH one. I'm going to have to work it out. It's too much for me right now. 23.4 pulse per Pump Tires Die, and it's on an uptrend. Certainly facing resistance around here, around 25. But I don't know, it might have a little breakout. I don't know what the RSI is, so we put the RSI in. It's on the pulse ratio anyway, but yeah, that's possibly looking good. Not financial advice, but that is looking promising. P-Mint has been up and down, hasn't it? Been up and down. I don't know. There's certainly a couple of community influencers backing P-Mint. Obviously, the PDI community. One of the PDI has a lot of volume because it's got probably quite a few contributors from these DeFi projects that are supporting it. We're at 5.6 cents. It's on the up last couple of days, so it's pretty good. Looking nice there on the old P-Mint, but did have quite a few down days, so not great. Came all the way down to 2.8 cents and is back up almost 2x. So if you can brave the volatility, there's there. There are some gains. Timing is key for those short-term plays, though. UFO the Grazer. I'm not sure what this is. 13 hours ago. Is this some scam coin? I don't know if this is the real one or not. UFO the Grazer UFO. 107k liquidity. Maybe it's the real thing. We're gonna have to go ahead check. We're gonna have to go check, shall we? I don't know if it's got UFO Hex here. I don't know what's Catalyst here. Have they launched this sell tax, buy and sell tax? Well, that makes sense. Only pot and no. So what we might do is quickly go and check the PUSD Graze team, I guess. I thought it was going to still be a few more days away based on our update we got yesterday. PTGC, the greats. Have they launched their new UFO token? It looks like no, doesn't it? Oh, wait a minute. Is it yes? Is it yes? Wait a minute. Let's see. I think it might be yes. 11 hours ago. I can't think. Look like it might be. I'm not sure if that's the actual contract. Got to double check. But let's see here. We got 11 hours ago. Congratulations to the Greys. The UFO migration is almost complete. The new token should be already in your wallets. Oh, that's too good. What do we got? Contract there. We got some DDs in the middle and 66. So let's go back and have a look. Let's give a look. E6, so that looks right. It doesn't have the middle ones, of course. I like to check the middle because of phishing contracts, but that's pretty cool. Yeah, I don't think anymore you can just check the front and end of contracts. You should check the middle as well. Just if you're out there, just remember that you should check the middle because there's always I can't remember what the technical term is now, but just got to definitely check that out. So massive hurdle is also complete. Thanks for being patient, everyone. I'm excited for the cycle. 3+ years of watching these systems every day have been put into new contract. The last bull run was by the Greys, and so this one currently sitting on 4 million market cap, 600k LP. Thanks again. So there we go. That's pretty good from them. Yeah, I guess people with old LPs, so people got the new tokens. I'm not going to go into the detail, but you can go follow them up on that. Let's quickly check some of the under comments. If you've removed your LP, so that'll be important. If you're involved with that. Great to see UFO buying and burning BTC again. So obviously they had to do the fork of UFO, or at least make a new UFO token because the other one had been an AI bot or something had got around the taxes, and so it was undermining the tokenomics of PTC, the Greys, and UFO. So now it's back again. It's back again. I've got rain. I don't know if you can hear the rain, but it's just starting to go really loud. I have to talk really loud. So great to see UFO buying and burning PTC again. So that's kind of cool. I'm taking away there. What else there? I think that's kind of. So here is where's it? PTC-UFO.com. Now reflects the new contract there. So we'll go have a look at that. The dashboard is officially live. You can start tracking the new UFO token right away. It's got all the information, live price, market caps, etc. So we'll have a quick look at the site. Hopefully it doesn't get banned but by my security. But we'll have a look. It's going to render. Yeah, there it comes. All right, so the Greys dashboard. There we go. Ticking away. That's got the contract here as well, which is kind of cool. We're going to copy that actually, and this is the dashboard. You got to give hats off to the PTC UFO team. Now they're one of the biggest communities on Pulse Chain, along with PDI, Emmet, and True DeFi, and all those. There's kind of some of the biggest communities. Pulse Bitcoin, and some of the biggest communities on Pulse Chain. And so they do a great job with these dashboards. Look at all the stuff: KPI reports, socials, calculators, charts. They're all under Maintenance, brand new. And they got affiliates. So there is an affiliate program for BTC to Grey with the incentive, and I like that. I think that's important to have. I would like it's good, particularly the bigger projects like UFO, PTC, any of the blue chip teams. I like to see reward programs and referrals and stuff like that. I think that generally helps with success quite a bit with the network effect in particular. As long as it's modest, as long as it's not too crazy. Now reward pools can be crazy, but they should be proportional, generally speaking. So yeah, we got this in place. It looks pretty nice. It's pretty nice. We'll go through this another time. I just want to highlight that update. So let's quickly move on. New UFO design will be great for price appreciation. I agree with that. Looks very good. That's pretty much it. Those are the highlights today. So I'm not going to go through all the details, but if you want to check out that all those updates, I'll post the link there to PTC the Greats. And no doubt Prairie Banana, who's the sort of the quant for the PTC Greys, will be talking about that. So let's go have a quick look for him as well. Big shout out to him. He does amazing work. Prairie Banana. There he goes. And 4 hours ago. Look at that. It's got all the details in there. This guy's never misses a beat. All right. And they had an X space on it too. So that's coming. Oh, it's coming up. So if you want to check that out, do that as well. Prairie Banana. I'll post this link as well if you want to follow him. Give him a follow and shout out. so that you're watching Superman on the Crypto Night Show, and you want to give them a shout out. There we go. Prairie Banana, the BTC quant influencer, as we say. All right, so let's move back out of here. Let's have a look at the other stuff. So PTC is up as well with the UFO. So I guess it's the new UFO pair. These are both being around 13 and 12 hours respectively. Always double check contracts, but those look fine. 60K, 107 liquidity, and they're the ones up 6.5%. So pretty cool to see that back on track. Yeah. 9mm, our third biggest DEX, is up 6%. Nice little comeback there. Let's see, that's the price there. Last 2 days, bit of a comeback after a bit of a hard sell down. But certainly, if we look at the weekly candles, it's certainly got a red week. But the pulse ratio, I think this is still holding up over 1,000. I think if it can hold 1,000, that's pretty positive. The next level down would be about 630 if it's based on previous history. So holding 1,000 is pretty important. Also, you want to keep the uptrend intact with higher lows, higher highs intact. So that'd be pretty cool. Now they're paying out their profits every month to 90mm holders, and I think they're using Merkle proofs for that. So there we go. It's number 5. Number 5 is Alive. Do you remember that movie? That was robotics, well before robotics, 1980s robotics. And it's funny, a lot of the robots we see today look like that robot, right? Just weird. It's just weird. In the future, our spaceships will look like Star Trek spaceships, no doubt. I saw one of the top physicists. He's putting a team together to do warp drives, and they're going to nut that out. And I don't know, that'll probably be pretty quick, is my guess. You can do the physics, but you also got to do the materials, right? So you have to think about the materials that you need to do that as well. So it's kind of a bit like pretty cool stuff. Don't be surprised. I don't know if Elon's working on anything like warp drives because he's still using fossil fuels and stuff, but maybe they are, and they're not talking about it. Presumably they're. Why wouldn't you work on more advanced propulsion? Anyway, I'm getting lost in the weeds here. Number 6 and 7, we've got Teddy Bear, James and Maria. All of James and Maria, look at us. Woo! Number 6 to 10, with the reserve tay there up about 4%. Not too bad. Let's have a quick look at the Teddy Bear. Another top meme coin, obviously, with James and Maria, supposed to reflect the goodness of his ecosystem, apparently. But I think the world's changed a lot. We're at 8/0/3200 on the old weekly. So we've got a down week at the moment. Certainly pushing for, don't want to break down from here. I'm not sure whether it will or not, but let's look at the pulse ratio. Pulse ratio is still looking pretty good, but certainly, challenging the support level right now. We'll see how we get on. The old Teddy Bear. Now, these James Maria all the way down. Look at us all the way down to 14, and then we get a Peacock UFO. So we've got a brand new pair with Peacock and UFO. So that's good for Peacock, good for UFO, I think. The 13 hours there, brand new one there. 23K liquidity. So add to the party. Volume's pretty small, $300, but it all helps, right? All helps with the old arbitrage bots and other things, I guess. Number 16 is SCADA Pulse. So one of our boutique nuclear supply SCADA teams, one of the more innovative small teams on PulseChain, is doing well there. So that's at number 16, up 2%. Let's have a quick look at that, see where that's at. And you can see the price chart there. I'm certainly at the bottom of the range right now. Pretty violent range, but let's look at the pulse ratio, because obviously pulse is down pretty violently. So we had a big negative week last week, 2 weeks in a row. We had a nice little 4-week run, 5-week run before that. It's still got higher lows intact, so pretty important, and it holds this level, I would guess. Certainly, it's got to break 614, so a bit of work to be done, but certainly still looking good there from SCADA. Doubt Token, one of our top meme coins, at number 17, up 1%. BFF, James Maria, 1.1%. And then we got Unity from Cryptographics at number 19, up just under 1%. And then Ink Printed Dollar there from Fast Abdul, up just under 1% there. And these got very little volumes. Look at these volumes, 2,000, 1,000. I mean, pretty crazy. So that's why I say, most of the volume is on the Richard Cause, OG WebChef, James Maria, and PDI, and from time to time, LibertySwap with the Peacock, which I suggest you will probably be there a lot more in the future. So it's the top 20. We've got a few more that are slightly green, as you can see. Algo, remember, OG WebChef, Provex, next there, Doubt Token. Obviously, we've already got a couple of pairs there. So we've got 27 coins of green in the top 100 trending here on CoinGecko. Everything else is kind of slightly down, not badly, slightly down, as if anything is down a lot, while Peacock Ninjas is down on the price. back down to 408.8100 at 15% down today, but the volumes are still pretty decent. OG WebShift there, world's greatest PDI printer, one of the PDI projects as well. OG WebShift 12%. So you can see OG WebShift getting right on the mix with the big volume tokens. So that's where they're making the money, right? Grind as the old PDI and the Peacock. So not surprised there. So yeah, we got PCD Grays 8% as well. So there we go. These don't have taxes on them too, so that's probably why. Maybe the system probably doesn't work on taxes that well, is my guess, because I don't seem to be targeting. Let me know if they've got any tax. No, none of the ones I can think of target tax tokens, which is probably why. Yeah, X Game down 7% for Investor is back at $1.63. Had a nice little run, didn't it? This is the grandparent of all the OG web shifts. Yeah, look at that run up. If you can handle extreme volatility, then yeah, $1.63 right now. So down the last 5 days, but look at this thing, crazy chart, right? But man, there was some mad gains there. Mad gains. Look, I mean, if you'd got the bottom here at 81 cents, driven it up 204, so 3x in 26 days, 3x in 6 days. Not bad. And it does decent volumes too. Well, the volume's a bit small today for 900, but certainly not bad there. All right, that's it. So we've got quite a few down 5%. I'm not going to go through all the list there, but that is where the market is. So where's Peacock right now? Peacock is sitting at 9600th of a penny, so just below 1/10 of 1 cent, just below 1 cent. Now, the reason why I want to do that is because I want to look at the burn supply. So we've been following this. Obviously, LibertySwap is expanding its DeFi ecosystem, and so it's going to be interesting to see a meme coin, utility meme coin on Pulse Chain, and this is the best candidate for it by far, right? So this is the store of value coin, Peacock. They're only ramping up their buy and burns and things like that. So we're going to go find Peacock. I'm going to show you that quickly just to give you context. I'm really fascinated by this because I watch this with other projects as well, but obviously the LibertySwap is the kraken of the DeFi on Pulse Chain right now, and I just want to go find this post. They've depegged it, so I've got to go find it now. It's probably way down now because these guys post so much stuff. Let's have a look. Let's see if I can find this thing. Did I post it on my channel? Maybe I posted it on my channel. Maybe I did. Let's go to my channel. Let's have a look. It's probably down here somewhere. Let's have a look. It's probably way down too. I've been posting these in and out. I don't know. Let's have a look here. There we go. That's the one. All right. So at the moment, we've got LibertySwap, which is the big bridge, multi-chain bridge, 100% of protocol fees, buying and burning. Liberty Shield, the Ethereum railgun, which is ported to Pulse Chain, and that is 100% of fees. And then we got Liberty Pools V3. So LibertySwap and V3 probably the big juggernauts. They're the big revenue parts. Liberty Shields will be a growing one, as the way I see it over time. And then, of course, we've got built-in fees. These are switched off. So Liberty Dex is being refactored to make it faster and better. And that's 100% fees. That will be a big deal too. So you can join LibertySwap and Liberty Pools, have Liberty Dex, those three juggernauts running. Pretty good. Should be pretty profitable. Then Hypermarket is out as well. I kind of put this as an emerging protocol. Takes a bit of time. They have been making fees out of it, but we'll be watching that as well. That's backed by Hyperliquid. But we've got some big juggernauts coming up in Wallet Swap. There's ZKX Wallet, and Wallet on and off ramp, ZKX Wallet. So all more revenue fees here, all significant. Liberty Perpetuals, very significant. And then Pump for Fun as well, which I think will do well also. Probably a bit more harder to gauge, but it's probably do pretty well. If they design it in certain ways, could do very well. It just depends on what features like staking or whatever else they're putting in there. Every new product strengthens the Peacock. So you can kind of see you could have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 buy and burn revenues. Think about that. That's pretty awesome. And some of the best stuff. And then they got more stuff coming down the line, like Liberty Lend and other projects coming down too. So you can kind of see it's going to get up to 10 and more, and significant. So it's like instead of just investing in one project on Pulse Chain that's maybe a blue chip one, you're getting 10 for one. You get what I mean? Like it's a scale factor. And I think currently the burn rate they indicated is equivalent to, we've got 44,000 validators, and it's equivalent to something like 23,000 and growing. So if it doubles, triples from here, you know, means it's going to be more buying power than all the validators on Pulse Chain, and then some. So you kind of see the vision here, and the supply slowly gets burned off. So that's kind of the context. So I just want to paint that out. But they've gone over 2 million, so it's kind of cool. So they're up to 997,924,000. So this was sitting at $1 billion, if you guys remember. They've started the last, was it maybe up to 3 weeks or something? I don't know. Don't know exact day. I have to go check. But they basically burned off almost 2.1 million Peacock. So at 1 cent, that'd be, you know, over $20,000. So if we round it, it's probably around $20,000 at the current price. That changes obviously if the price goes up, that's worth even more. But pretty interesting. Now they obviously got from the beginning of Peacock when it launched, you know, with Humpback Holder, they burned a pretty severe amount. I think it was close to 150 mil all up. So directly at the beginning and then through some more burns from him. And then since then, I think I'm just guessing, so I haven't reconciled this, but I think it's about this 4.4 million on top is probably LibertySwap. I'm guessing that. Yeah, it's these approximate numbers. So you know, I haven't done a full reconciliation, but that's my guess there. So that's 15.47 plus the 2.1 million. So you know, we're sitting at about what 156.5 million has been burned off so far, and I'm really impressed what I've seen. So over the last, I watched it yesterday because I'm really interested to see the run rate, right? And the run rate was sitting at last night when I turned in, it was sitting at 998.802, and so that basically means that it's down 74, 76 or 76,000. And that's not even a full day. It's almost like maybe half a day, maybe more, or maybe just over half. Yeah. So yeah, it'd be interesting to see whether they're hitting 100,000 Peacock run rate a day. That'd be interesting. Obviously, you remember volume is quite low right now, right? So volume's down at 2.5 mil, 2.9 mil. So if volume doubles, then this could really run away. You know, Peacock still holds down. You're talking about 200,000 Peacock. Now, Peacock liquidity is quite large, so that's a moderating factor too. But it allows bigger people to come in and out. So yeah, I can't remember the exact volume, but maybe it's around. I have to double check this as well, so just take it as a grain of salt without me checking. But maybe 1.8 million or something. That's pretty big, pretty big. I can't remember the exact number. I should probably go confirm it before I say it, but I have looked at it before. But it's like, okay, so that's some interesting stuff. So we're going to watch that because obviously this is the Kraken on Pulse Chain right now. And it's like at the moment, it's you know, once this is all rolled out, it's like having 10 DeFi protocols wrapped into one. And most of these products are very useful, and they're all anchored with the LibertySwap bridge, right? So you got that flowing river, and then you basically build all these businesses around that flowing river, which are really quality. And then, so I think it's pretty exciting. Recently, they announced, of course, they hit 3,000 downloaders of the ZKX wallet. And there's also something else that's going on with the ZKX, which has got old Hex vibes. I don't know if you think it's got old Hex vibes, and I'd like to see this grow. And I may do one myself, do a public ZKX wallet, because you know, it's pretty interesting stuff. And it could be great content as well, because you know, it's exciting to talk about that. But let's go look at that. So I'm going to go to Crypto Coffee because he's been one of. Actually, let's go to LibertySwap because I think they posted one of these earlier. And let me just scroll down here. Where is it gone? It's down here somewhere. We'll find it. See how much they post. This is like we're still like in the last day or so. Where is this guy? I'm sure they posted it up here, but I thought it was today in the last 24 hours. Where's it gone? What did they say? Where did it show? I can't even find it now. What? That's bizarre, isn't it? Right, we'll go have one more look. Look here. We'll find it. We'll find it without getting too dizzy. Without too dizzy here. Where is it gone? Sure, they had posted here. Anyway, so we'll go with coffee because this is probably the way to lead us to the right direction. We're an hour and 38 minutes into live. I didn't even realize. I thought we were like an hour and 15 or something. We're up to an hour and 38 minutes. Anyway, so we got Crypto Coffee. He's doing these public videos, right? He's got a public wallet. Uses ZKX wallet. This is, of course, the LibertySwap wallet here. This is going to be the wallet of everything. And you can see if we just pause it there, You can see the balance at the time of this video was $351 on it. But it's really about the demoing, right? So he's demoing the features and that. It's about to be seriously upgraded, right? So we're going to see that. At the moment, you can obviously in Chrome extension, you can do the web version, which is basically just about everywhere. You can also, they're about to go on the big platforms, Apple and others, and they're also about to go mobile. So it's going to be fully out there on the distribution networks, the classical ones. So pretty awesome. And therefore, it's going to be available virtually to everybody and everywhere, but they're going to have everything. So, it's pretty exciting. They have hit 3,000 downloads, as I said earlier, and so we're looking forward to that going up. Remember that Internet Money Wallets, which have been around for some time as the leading wallet on Pulse Chain, was last update it was 118,000 downloads, and probably they're over, probably closer to 125 now or something. But this gives you an idea of the growth rate there just in a short while. We want that obviously to explode. Every 10,000 users downloading is just dramatic. And so that's why I really like these adoption videos, right? Just nothing better than organic stuff. And so you can see he's got a bit of Hex in there, Pulse X, Pulse, a bit of Peacock in there as well. So he's just doing a lot of, these top LP pools. And he's got that just adding to it every time, which is pretty cool. He's got, is this guy retarded? Let me know. So there's a bit of fun, game of fun there as well from him.
Buy some more Pulse.
So we'll watch a little bit of this video. We'll just watch a bit just so you get a bit of the vibe, because it's got that kind of Hex vibe. Remember Hex? Everyone used to talk about, here's my Hex portfolio. Let's see what happens to it. And then of course it did 10,000X, and people were like, whoa, my God, turn $100 into, was it the 100,000 or whatever it is. So pretty crazy stuff. Yeah. So let's watch this a little bit of this, because it's a bit of fun vibe.
Feels like a good day to buy some more Pulse Chain. So I just got $50 in here over from Cash App. Couldn't be easier. Send out as USDC. This is my dollar cost average strategy wallet. I'm over here on LibertySwap.finance. Just do whatever it tells you in your wallet. Sign the wallet. Swapping. Swap completed successfully. Couldn't have been easier. Probably took about 2 minutes. So 50 more bucks in there. We got $450 more of Pulse. $400 total. This will appear probably in a few seconds here. What do you think, chat? Am I retarded, or am I a future millionaire? Am I just pre-rich? When the price goes up, maybe they'll call it genius. Maybe not. This is just a risk I'm willing to take. Could all go to zero. I believe Pulse Chain, PulseX hacks, and these tokens, Peacock, Top Hat, I know they've all got way more potential than Ethereum and Bitcoin. Whether or not they capture that extra liquidity when Ethereum goes to, let's say, $7,000, $8,000, time will tell. It just seems like a higher probability than not. So that's the bet I'm willing to take. I know the Pulse Chain community is with me on this one. This is a real believers chain. Okay, it's a real believers chain. So none of this short-term pump and dump, no allegiance, pump.fun mercenary crap. This is real long-term investing, holding. And in a market like this that's been going down in altcoins for 5 years, if you believe in something and you hold it long-term, that is going to anger people because it's too long for most people. I get it. Most people can't do long-term holding. They thought it was 2 years, 3 years. I guess it's longer. I wish it was a normal cycle as well, but we got crime season instead. But we do have the Clarity Act. We've got Ethereum going to break its all-time high eventually. Institutional money going to pour in from real-world assets, stable coins, AI. You know the spiel. You know what I think. So my plan is to ride this tiny bag now to Valhalla. It could be $4,000 one day. It could be $40,000. It could be even higher, dare I say. So delusional, optimistic, bull-tard, yes, obviously. You don't have to do any of this. You agree or you don't, but the choice is yours to make. I've seen crypto lift people out into financial freedom. I'm one of those people, but many, many more. You just got to stay in the game. Unfortunately, it sucks. Even for me, it pains me to do this. Okay, but you can see that money just popped up right here. It doesn't feel good to buy at times like this, but if we're only just buying when it feels good, that's actually when we're supposed to be selling. Lessons learned. I'm always learning along the way, so sharing this journey with you. You can track me. I'll post my wallet link below. If you look at what works for the majority of people, they don't have time to day trade. They don't have time to be doom scrolling Twitter and chasing meme coins all day. Long-term investing has the highest probability of working out in the long term. I know what you're thinking. 5 years, we only went down. What the heck? Ethereum didn't even break its all-time high. Now it's down 70%. Yes, it's been a long time. The short answer, the simple answer is what nobody wants to hear. We just got to wait longer. So I'm in survival mode. I'm in dollar cost average mode. I'm being frugal. I'm cutting costs everywhere. We're shopping at Costco. We're not going out as much. We're just hunkering down, DCA and pray. But we're going to make this dream a reality, because a lot of the pulse chain community speaks it into existence. They take action. And if you look online, they get totally crazy organic engagement because they're fanatic, they're diehard, people that like hacks, pulse chain. They never lost the plot of crypto. They still talk about decentralization, saying F you to the banks, no middlemen. That's one thing I like about them. That's one thing I like. That's why I came here. I came for the gains, but I stayed for the ideals of, overthrowing the corrupt financial system. Peacefully, of course. So if you're looking for an actual crypto community, you're not going to find anything else like Pulse Chain. A lot of people talk about community, and it's all garbage. It's all BS. They say we have a community, but they can't hold anything longer than 2 hours or even 20 minutes. It's pathetic out there. So what do you think? Do you like long-term investing? Are you outraged? Are you morally outraged, recreationally outraged? Drop that rage in the chat below. Let's hear it. Let's get those numbers up. Let's get that algorithm pumping. Or if you're with me, I want to hear it too. Leave it in the chat below. See you on the next one.
All right, so pretty fun video there, and of course rearing the troops up. So pretty cool, and he's doing a great demo wallet there. But we also had some more, right? So we got Kingsman out there, a community member, and he's also doing another public wallet for the ZKX wallet. So pretty exciting. He's got a different, slightly different portfolio. He's going a lot of very hardcore Peacock quad vector and a bit of PDIM. But he's already he's got 544, so even a bit higher than the Peacock coffee there at the moment. Be interesting to see whether we get a bit of the, as I said, what I say in the video, battle of the ZKX wallet. So that'd be pretty cool. I think there's actually a third person doing a public wallet out there as well. So this could be a really fun trend and become very viral and network oriented, just like we had back in the Hex days. It had that same sort of vibe and just exploded. People doing Hex public wallets and ramping up their portfolio. It's been pretty exciting. All right, so you got good old Kingsman out here, so big shout out to him. And he's got his public wallet there, you can see, and he's got his portfolio there. So we're watching that over time. Obviously, if we're at the bottom of the market, and these small wallets with these relatively small retail wallets could end up blowing up quite a lot as we try to find that bottom and go to the upside, break that mega downtrend, and up we go. So yeah, pretty awesome. I like he's got different stuff. He's got the Zero, Zen. These are all part of the Peacock quad vector, and then he's got a bit of PDI in here as well. So pretty good. And now this wallet is about to get some big upgrades too with the, as we said, with the in-wallet swap features and everything that's coming. So this is about to go to another level. So very excited about that. But I'm pretty sure there's another one I saw out there as well that's doing these things. Now I don't think there's been too many big updates today from LibertySwap, but they have come out with this video, which is the third episode in the season. It's called The Final Boss, and basically it's pretty animated there. You can watch the video yourself, but it's action-packed, pretty well done as well. I think by the time we get to the fourth video, we may end up getting the solution there, and I don't know, just all the vibes at the moment are sort of signaling a stablecoin solution is coming possibly from LibertySwap. What it's going to be exactly, we will find out, but certainly that's where it looks like it's leading there. And yes, just a little sneak peek here. So as this Liberty dollar, you can see this LibertySwap dollar here. Look at that. So I don't know if we can bring that back a little bit there. There we go. So look at that. That's perfect. So Richard Hart in the video pulls out this Pulse Chain $1. Now, I don't know if that's just a general inspirational, but we do know that LibertySwap's been talking about getting a proper decentralized stablecoin. That's what they were after there. Now, we obviously have 4 liquidity forks. We're getting 2 more of those coming up with Fast Abdul and Triple Dad with Vault 369 and VersaVault respectively. They've got some great tech involved in that, and we're excited about where that's going. So we might end up having another solution here with LibertySwap. Previously, we had talked a little bit about Rack Michelle, who was going to be doing one, but that seems to have dropped off at this stage. So we don't know exactly where that's at as far as I know. But certainly these other teams are moving forward. So, pretty exciting. So there we go. What will this mean? We will see. Obviously, Pulse Chain to $1, but is there a decentralized stablecoin coming out of this video series? The video is very good. Like, they're really well done. I don't necessarily agree with all of the inferences there, but it's certainly a good series there, and helps to go viral. They've already had 9,500 people on this video. All right, watch that. So that is pretty cool. You can go see that on LibertySwap at the moment. All right, so we're up to now 49 minutes. Wow, we're having fun today. It's the old weekend. Pretty cool. I'm not sure. They've got lots of updates here. I'm not going to go through all those. Generally, I only like to cover the bigger product releases or key upgrades. So they've got a few little minor things there, but certainly we are expecting some big things from LibertySwap this week. This month, and that is spot and perpetuals, tokenization, commodities and stocks. That's the biggest one on the block right now. We're also expecting the mobile wallets, the wallet platforms, and wallet probably wallet updates with some of those swapping things coming in. So that'd be really big for the buy and bins and stuff, and for just basically for a really great offering for people. And then we've got a few other things coming down the line there as well from this team, which just skip my memory at the moment. But excited there. Now let's quickly go look at some of the other teams. We already looked at PDC UFO. Let's go look at where are we going here? We're going to go to Brandon, actually. Brandon. And from SwitchFi. I'm really excited about the stuff. We've talked about him bringing on, he's teased about tokenization with their Switch has been set up for it. So I'm excited about that. I don't know whether that means they're going to support third parties. Obviously they are, but whether they're going to be doing something themselves is the question. With the tokenization, that could be really great for Pulse Chain because he's doing some of the best blue chip offerings on Pulse Chain right now. So I'm really excited about that. So we'll keep a lookout. What else are we going to say about that? I think that's we've got that on there at the moment. If you haven't used SwitchX, by the way, it is a super slick. It is so good to use. Very big shout out for that. What else? We're going to go quickly look at some of the other big projects coming up. Triple Dad with VersaVault. Excited about that coming up. Not sure if he's got any updates there, but we are expecting some new content from Triple Dad very soon. I think that's very soon. So stay tuned for that. Fast Abdul, we're just not sure when he's launching Vault 369. It's all ready to go, I think, for the most part. So we'll just wait and hear from that. Fast Abdul. Have a quick look there. See if he's got anything out at the moment. No, nothing here right now. So those are the big ones that we're expecting to be launching coming up. Now, we have talked about the Web3 ecosystem. I did a big video on that the other day. So hope you guys enjoyed that. That's rolled out from Stu, and that rollout's still going. So staking is kicking into gear, all that sort of stuff. So I'm pretty excited for that. Full ecosystem, world-class Web3 solution. 9 protocol dApps in there. Pretty impressive. So I will try and see if the Stu's ready to do a stream or not. It'd be great to get him to cover that because that's a big deal added to the chain. So we were looking up for that. The other one, of course, is Signum Oracle. So Signum Oracle was going to be launching. I did an update in the PUSD algo. Let's quickly go to see that. Sorry, I'm just having a bit of trouble here with the Telegram. PUSD algo, where did that go? Where did PUSD algo go? I'm not sure. Let's see whether I can find it. All right, so PUSD algo. So someone, obviously people have been delayed with PUSD algo. You guys know it's a really with the expectation going to be an advanced hybrid decentralized stablecoin. We're very excited about the model. It may go part way to providing a partial solution for scalability and the stablecoin trilemma, which I'm always, it's even though we're into crypto and pumping bags and all that, we do like the technology. If we're doing some cutting edge stuff, so it's always great to have cutting edge stuff on Pulse Chain. Someone was just just saying, oh, when's it all going to happen? So I just thought I'd provide an update with as much information as I could. And many of you may have, if you've been watching my show, may have sacrificed for PUSD algo in the past. It is one of the biggest. I think it's probably the biggest sacrifice project left to launch. I'm just thinking. Oh, the other one would be the other one would be Batias with the P-Day that we talked about, the AI trading platform. So we've got 2 big sacrifice projects yet to launch. Now this one was quite some time back, but PUSD algo is subject to 2 prerequisites. So if you're a sacrifice of PUSD algo, now you can find the link in the video description. You will have to be patient with the launch time though. Obviously, a lot of people that sacrifice so far have to be patient, but I did have an update. So I'm just going to go through that now. So Signum Oracle, was expected to launch on the 17th of July. That was from Stu. So Stu's doing Tetra in the Web3 ecosystem. So it's a different technology solution suite. We've covered that briefly a couple of times. Now, Signum was one of those dApps in there, and that's going to be our second big public oracle. That was going to launch on the 17th of July. So that's only a couple of days from now, right? So like 6 days. However, this might have shifted a little as Stu, the developer, has provided an update. And the update is basically this, and that was provided on the 29th of June. So this is still a little bit older, like 12 days ago. But he basically said, I will have Signum update for everybody in the next couple of weeks. So we could have something in the next week is my guess, because it's already been 12 days. We'll keep a lookout for that. So that's from Stu. I'm just going to quickly check now in real time whether he's actually provided something on that. So let me pull that up quickly. Tetra. I don't want to get too lost here in the weeds. No, so nothing there yet. So let me go back to Signum. Yeah, no, I'm going back to USDC, aren't I? All these teams, right? All these teams. So we've got, so Signum in a couple of weeks. So presumably in about a week, we might find out when that's actually launching, whether it's still going to be the 7th of July or whether that's going to be slightly deferred. So that's the oracle. That's the first prerequisite for the PUSD ALGO. So there's 2 of them, at least, that are public. The second one is the value of the sacrifice funds. So the value, people have been criticizing, I've been rug pulling and all that. Yeah, we certainly haven't launched, so there's no doubt about that. But the funds are in situ. They're just sitting in the sacrifice wallet. So there's 122K right now in the sacrifice wallet. That was based on yesterday's value. And that's at the current price of Ethereum. Of course, Ethereum's retraced a lot, right? So you put a lot of that stuff's in Ethereum. The prices have gone down from 4 or 5K, right? So it used to be quite high value. It's gone ridden all the way down. So there's no risk management stuff going on. It's just going up and down with the price. So my estimate, this is just my opinion. Obviously, Jacob, who's the developer of PUSD, used to talk about $1 million, but my view, maybe it's a lot lower these days, and maybe he's making quite a few changes. So let's get into the math quickly. So presumably it would need to go back to a minimum of 350K. That's so we're at 122. Probably 350K is probably the minimum. You want to get up to that sort of level. Now, obviously, Jacob's the one who decides this, so it's just my numbers. This would be, but you can double it up in a V2. He's talked about using for PUSD ALGO a V3 DEX, which would add to our big DEX, 5 DEXs. Our big, it'd be number 5, because it'd be probably pretty big, decent volumes going through, my guess. And so, full range, that would jump it to 700K, right? So I don't know whether he's thinking like that, because you have to set up, like, based on the existing model that we're familiar with, you would have to set up, maybe 4, 5 different trading pairs, because there's different tokens and stable coins, etc. So depending on how many pools, so let's say 4, you need decent liquidity for each of them, which would require a 3x in the ETH price. So that would be the 5,300. So that's just my guess there. So, would it have to be higher? I don't know. Is he wanting to get up, to really have a huge ETH rally up to 10K before he launches? I don't know. But, I think at the minimum, I think 350 sounds reasonable. And if you put it in a full range, that would be 7K. I think that's doable, but he would have to decide whether he thinks that is enough liquidity there. Now, perhaps more. And I said, I guess it depends on implied changes noted in Jacob's latest update below. We shall find out at some stage. So, it's just my a probability guess there, perhaps, or an estimate. Now, Jacob's last update was some time ago, right? So it was the 2nd of December, 2025. So it's the end of last year. So we're basically, 7 months later, right? 7 months later there. And his last update, he said, we have continued to refine PUSD and how it works. And this is key, right? Key stuff. He also indicated in other comments that he'd hired a team and they were working on all the stuff. We also heard from a little birdie that he was trying to align it with the Genius Act stuff to some degree. Now, I believe he's based in Europe, so I'm not sure how that all fit in, but we will see. And but we had his quote was this: "We have continued to refine PUSD and how it works." So obviously the stuff that we had on stream, because I interviewed him, remember, and I did little clips. I went through all the little bits of the protocol with him, and he was very generous with his time to explain a lot of stuff. But they may have made some changes to that original model, and so that may change the amount of collateral they need, how they're setting that all up. So I just don't know, right? So I don't know what version 2 looks like. The landscape is changing fast. New regulation, new technologies arrive, and due to this, we have made some changes to how PUSD ecosystem operates. we will now and we will announce these changes as we get closer to launch. Now, obviously, launch is not here because collateral is only down at 122. So we still need the second prerequisite. So if we do get the Signum launching in July, let's say at the latest early August, then we've still got to wait for the collateralization, in my view, based on version 1, right? So version 2, I don't know, we'll see what that requires, but it's probably still pretty significant capital, and therefore we would need a re-rate in the ETH price. The second comment that he made back in December last year was that while we cannot commit to any direct timeline as of now due to uncertain deployment of time of on Oracle support, in other words, Signum Oracle that we're expecting to come up, as soon as we have the infrastructure we need, we will be able to give you all the timeline for a mainnet launch. Now, there was also talk of other oracles coming to market. Now, obviously, that's not happened, so there was talk about that. So that's not happened, obviously. Whether they're working on some other oracle solution, obviously Signum is just around the corner. That would seem to be, unnecessary at that stage. And so, yeah, we'll see how that plays out. Now, then there was a final update, right? So we're going to update. He's working on, so he's had Mafia project, which I wasn't actually able to access yesterday. But then he's got this other project, a big gambling site called On-Chain Bet gaming site. This is multi-chain, cross-chain technology, so he's very excited about that. We know LibertySwap uses a lot of that cross-chain technology as well. Now, On-Chain Bet. So On-Chain Bet, obviously, that's progressing very well. Now, he says, I said, this seems to be progressed well, and here's the key comment. So he said on the update on the 7th of July, so this is only a couple of days old, 4 days old, he said, we have completed 15 of the 20 games intended for the On-Chain Bet platform. We are currently wrapping up another product. Now, I don't know, presumably that's Mafia. I don't know, maybe it's PUSD ALGO he's talking about. I don't know, but said we are currently wrapping up another product. I don't know whether it's Mafia or PUSD ALGO or what, but maybe if you've got any insights out there, let me know, because I don't obviously see everything everywhere. I'm not omnipresent and etc. But we shift our entire focus to complete and launch On-Chain Bet. So their priority at the moment is On-Chain Bet, right? So and they seem to be well advanced, and that's the update on the 7th of July. Now, so they've still got to wait for Signum Oracle. That might be, let's say, if they hit the 17th of July, or they defer that slightly to the beginning of August or something. We shall see. We should get an update on the next week on that, and so you still got like a month time frame is my guess on that to launch. And then secondly, the value of ETH needs to recover, and so that could be months away, right? And we don't know exactly what version 2 looks like in that context. So still patience is required. I mean, it's the end of the game on the PUSD ALGO. Now, hopefully, that gets to the end of the mile with these updates. Version 2, that it's going to be quite a fun product, quite a contribution to DeFi, and of course, it will be based out of Pulse Chain and likely have all this cross-chain technology tied into it and some pretty cool things. So we're watching out for that. It might end up being, obviously people have had to wait some time, but it might get there in the end. And hopefully when the bull market's purring, right, when the bull market's purring, and people will not be too unhappy about that, hopefully, by the time we get there. All right, so that's PUSD ALGO. Now, obviously, you can participate with the links that I've got in the video description if you want to participate in that, but you will have to be patient, obviously, and keep up to date in the Telegram group there. I did ask, I did invite Jacob to respond to that in the Telegram. So far, he hasn't done that, but a lot of people have liked that update that I provided. So, there we go. That's my update. I'm not the team. This is my collecting all the knowledge that's available and posting it in one place, essentially. All right, so that is PUSD ALGO, and you guys know I think it's his flagship project, but obviously On-Chain Bet is a pretty big project, right? It's multi-chain, multi-game chain there, and that's well advanced, from looks at well advanced indeed. And I guess they're going to be looking to finish that in the third quarter of this year, is my guess as well. Yeah, so we'll see. That's all the big news. Hope you guys enjoy it. 2 hours and 3 minutes, man. We did a mega stream. Well, hey. Hope you guys enjoyed all the content. We are pretty excited. Hey, look, Fast Abdul's been on the image there all this time. Me talking about, PUSD ALGO. Now, I think we do have PUSD ALGO here somewhere, don't we? PUSD ALGO. There it goes. That's the official Telegram. There we go. And the last video update pinned was mine, which was funny enough. It's the 15th of April, 25. So there we go. Pretty crazy, right? Cold DeFi, of course, is another influence from Pulse Chain that covers PUSD ALGO as well. There we go. All right. Probably should have left it on that screen for a while I was talking about PUSD ALGO. Hope you guys enjoy it. We've got a big month of launches in July and August. There's no doubt about it. Pulse Chain is not going to lack some excitement there, and we're getting a lot of our utility. What do you call it? Dark spots colored in. It should be pretty good going forward. So we're going to have all the tools we need for this bull market coming up. And hats off to Coffee and the other players there doing these public ZKX wallets. That's got that Hex vibe, right? We want to get the Hex vibe back. So I'd like to see we get a few more players putting that out every week, doing the upgrades. That'd be pretty exciting. I know on the Monster 3 we've had one Hex guy doing Hex stakes every week. I think he just did over 1.1 million Hex or something on his public wallet. But it's kind of fun, right? It's kind of got that vibe, very network viral kind of feel. Really cool stuff there. Hope you guys enjoyed the show. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to smash the follow. Enjoy your weekend if you're coming into your weekend. And, of course, if you're in your weekend already down under, have a great time of fun. It's raining pretty hard here right now. It just is what it is. But I'll catch you guys again in tomorrow's show. If you're on X, don't forget to repost the show. Smash that out. That'd be really appreciative there. And onwards and upwards, Onwards and upwards. Take care, everybody, and bye for now.